In the last class, we have discussed about various processes involved in textile wet treatments. That is, the chemical treatments given to the grey cloth to convert it as a marketable one. So just we have a glance about the various process. The grey cloth is subjected to the singeing process. After that, desizing process. Desizing the process for removal of protruding fibers from the surface of the fabric. Next process is covering, and next one is bleaching, and then mercerization and dyeing, printing. The last treatment is finishing. The last class we have discussed the two processes. One is singeing process and next one is desizing process. So this class today we are going to see about two processes. One is scouring process and next one is bleaching process. So I have already told the purpose of scouring. So scouring is a treatment given to the grey cloth to remove some trash materials, that is the fat, oil, wax present in the fabric surface. That is, in the cotton grey cloth already it contains lots of some foreign matters, that is fat, oil, wax. So these particles, these foreign matters affects the absorbency of the fabrics. So when we are taking the fabric to the wet treatment means the fat, oil and wax present in the fabric disturbs or reduces the absorbency of the fabrics. So it also reduces the efficiency of dyeing and printing process. So we have to remove the fat, oil and wax materials from the grey cloth. For that we are using one chemical, that is sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is a chemical agent, that is covering agent, which is used for the process scouring. So how the scouring process is carried out means the machine involved in this process is known as keyer. The keyer is a scouring machine in which the fabric is subjected to the scouring process. So keyer, it is a big vessel, it's a big size boiler like vessel. It is in it the required chemicals and liquor are added and the fabric also immersed in it. The fabric is immersed in the process and based on the types of mechanism of the keyer, the scouring process carried out. Now let us see what are the types of keyers are available. One is horizontal keyer, another one is vertical keyer. These are the shapes of the keyer. And vertical keyer there are two types, one is open keyer and closed keyer. So mostly the closed keyer are used. In closed keyer there are two types. Mostly the high temperature type keyer is used. So in a keyer, it is I have already told, it is a big size or mega size boiler. It is a mega size boiler. So in the closed type keyer, the required liquor is, first liquor means the sodium hydroxide and required amount of water and some other chemicals which are auxiliary chemicals which are needed for or which are supporting the scouring process are added. And then the grey cloth. After the desized grey cloth is immersed into the scouring liquor. And then based on the type of keyer, if it is a steam type keyer means the steam is injected into the keyer and the process, it's like because of the high temperature and high pressure, the chemicals in the keyer is reacted with the fabric. So what are the reactions carried out in the scouring process? Mostly the protein matters and pectins and the fat, oil, waxes are subjected to the lots of chemical process. So what are the chemical process? One is saponification, another one is emulsification. Sodium hydroxide, we know that it is alkali, right? When the alkali is reacted with the fat present in the fabric, it converts into the soluble soap. That is, the fat present in the cotton is reacted with alkali, that is sodium hydroxide, it gives soap. So soap, we can wash it, we can remove that soap in the washing process. So that process is known as saponification. And next one is emulsification. The unsoluble soil wax are reacted with the soap, and this process is known as emulsification. Because this process, the unsoluble oil and the wax and fat are converted into soluble emulsifier. So the soluble solutions are also can be removed from the washing process. And then the pectins and the some other matters are also converted into the soluble matters. And if any minute solid particles present in the fabric are also converted as it can be deposited. It will be deposited in the liquor. So it can be removed through the filtering process. So some of the foreign matters present in the grey cloth are the fat, oil, wax, and the pectins, pectose like that, and also some solid particles. So during this covering process, the oil and fat are also converted into soap, and unsoluble wax and unsaponifiable oils are converted into emulsifier. And also these processes are removed, or these trash matters are removed by the washing process, and the solid matters are filtered. Right? So in this covering process, the unwanted matters present in the grey cloth are removed. So the fabric becomes purified from the trash matters. Okay. Next process is bleaching. So before the bleaching, one intermediate process is there, that is soaring. Between scouring and bleaching, there is another one process, intermediate process is required, that is known as soaring. What do you mean by soaring? In case of scouring, we are using sodium hydroxide, that is alkali. So after the scouring process, the fabric is subjected to washing. So from the washing process, the unwanted materials are removed. But some amount of alkalis are present in the fabric. If we permit the sodium hydroxide in the fabric surface, means it may affect the surface structure, and also it may affect the surface properties of the fabric. So that should be removed. But we can't remove the sodium hydroxide through the simple washing process. So it has to be converted into the soluble one. That is, it has to be neutralized. So to neutralize the alkali, we have to apply acid. So the scoured fabric should be treated with the acid. So in that process, the alkali present in the fabric will be neutralized. So that process is known as soaring. Right. So after scouring, the fabric is subjected to soaring, in which the scoured fabric is treated with the acid. Okay. Next, we take the scoured fabric. Scoured neutralize the fabric to the bleaching process. So what do you mean by bleaching? The name itself it tells. The bleaching process means it removes the natural yellowish coloring matter from the fabric. So it enhances the whiteness of the fabric. If we take the fabric as a half white, means it can be converted to the colored material through the dyeing process. If we need a pure white material for our end use, means the bleaching is very, very important. So, and also the bleaching helps to remove the natural yellowish matter present in the cotton fabric. So for that bleaching, we are using some chemicals. So there are two types of bleaching agents. One is reducing bleaching agent, and another one is oxidizing bleaching agent. So what do you mean by this reducing and oxidizing bleaching agent? Means the chemical reactions carried out during the bleaching process. Based on that, we are classifying the chemicals, or based on that we are classifying the bleaching agent into two types. One is reducing bleaching agent, another one is oxidizing bleaching agent. But mostly the reducing bleaching agent are not encourageable because it has some disadvantages. That is, after the bleaching, the reducing bleaching agent creates some chlorine smell in the fabric, and also the effectiveness of bleaching is not that much good. But in case of oxidizing bleaching agent, there is no any byproducts, and also the bleaching, the efficiency of bleaching is also very good in case of oxidizing bleaching agent. So among the oxidizing bleaching agents are hydrogen peroxide, the sodium hypochlorite, and calcium hypochlorite. So in case of among these 3 oxidizing bleaching agent. The sodium hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is a very important and very perfect bleaching agent for cotton. So the hydrogen peroxide is called as universal bleaching agent. Why this hydrogen peroxide is called as a universal bleaching agent? In some agents, some type of chemical or only can be used for only natural fibers, and some types of chemical can be applied for man-made fibers. But in case of hydrogen peroxide, it is a universal bleaching agent. That is, we can use this bleaching agent for natural fiber and also for man-made fabric. Right? So, and next one is the efficiency of bleaching. Compared with the other bleaching agents, the efficiency of bleaching is better in case of hydrogen peroxide. And also, the hydrogen peroxide, it doesn't create any byproducts in the surface of the fabric. It only reacts with the natural yellowish coloring matter and helps to remove that from the fabric. So it doesn't create or it doesn't produce any byproducts or any residue chemical in the surface of the fabric. So the hydrogen peroxide is called as a universal bleaching agent. Okay students, in next class we will discuss about the other major wet processing treatments, dyeing, printing and finishing. Thank you.